we just came up with an idea in here for 1930s Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Before everything was already invented.
Yeah, everything's already been invented. Yeah.
Now it's like, oh, a sponge with a smiley face. Wow, what an invention. Thanks, Shark Tank.
Those sponges are great.
We have one of those over
Yeah,
there.
we do.
Love that sponge.
At LeBatard Show, put it on the poll. Are the people who invented the smiley sponge billionaires?
They are, without a doubt. They are rich.
Wait, you shove like a spoon into its mouth?
Oh, it's meant, yeah. And you can do little thin
you're
utensils
feeding
through
it,
the eyes, like it's not just a smile. It's not just a smiley face for the smile. It's very efficient.
Can you demonstrate for me, Billy?
Billy is going to get it now in a way that
Actually,
shows
we
way
have a
too much
camera on the kitchen
enthusiasm.
right now, so I guess on video we can show.
Oh, it's on right now. I'm looking at it. Look at Billy. There you are, Billy.
Smiley face sponge,
Yeah.
just showing it to the camera.
All right, right now
so
he's
he's
got a
pantomiming right now with a spoon, or he puts it in the mouth of the smiley, squeezes a sponge onto it.
Never been
and then
cleaner.
It's clean.
It's very
He's doing
dark
an
in
advert right
there,
now.
and I don't think what's happening in that other room there. I don't believe we should tell people when we're going to put them on camera and dance around.
It's a hot set.
It's just the
come
kitchen.
on.
It's not like it's a bedroom.
But getting back to what
now
it
my
is,
hand has that yucky sponge smell that you have after you touch a sponge.
Invent a sponge without a yucky sponge.
I don't know the sponge
Put
smell.
that shit on Shark Tank.
He is worth over $70 million.
See, billionaire.
Yep.
at LeBatard Show, do you hate that yucky sponge smell on your hands? At LeBatard Show. But what is the idea, Jessica, for 1930s Shark Tank?
Well, Chris Cody said that everything's already been invented. And that's why I said, I watch Shark Tank sometimes and I'm like, I look at these things that people are inventing and I'm like, we don't really need this. None of this is a necessity. And he said we should go back to a time where we actually need the things that are being invented, like medical grade gauze or something like that. You know what I mean? So we were thinking of a time where modern things hadn't been invented yet. I landed on the 30s. And I think it's probably like we could invent commercial airplanes in the 30s still. Yeah. Right? Those didn't exist yet. TV barely
at the
existed.
advent of the mass appeal of the auto industry,
Wi-Fi.
we're in the middle of Wi-Fi.
Like
Wi-Fi.
OTT platforms.
Like-
Wi-Fi
Change everything.
during the
Yeah.
Great Depression.
Billy
the
brought up
forward pass.
Billy brought up the point that nowadays people invent things to get rich.
Yeah.
Back in the day, you invented shit to make life better.
Exactly.
I mean, now we're still making life better, but people are just trying to get rich.
I
nowadays.
miss when people invented things for the common good of society. Now people are inventing things to get rich. Like, and then I said, imagine Benjamin Franklin, if he would have said, you know what, residuals for my estate and my family on electricity forever.
For life, every time you turn on a light. Yep.
2 pennies every single time. Imagine. He didn't do that. He did it for the greater good. But now, if it was 1930 Shark Tank, he'd just kind of stroll in, old Big Ben would walk in.
Ding, ding, ding.
Hello, sharks. Are you tired of buying candles to light up your estate?
Please continue. I
For
love
10%.
I love this limited fake Ben Franklin on Shark Tank.
Yes, it doesn't cost me any money to have my slaves turn them on, but
Ding, ding, ding.
You can keep going.
No,
You can-
I've gone too
That's
far
it.
already,
You have
I
not
would
gone
say.
too
Yeah.
far. You went. Well, you did. You did get there quickly. I thought that was going to be the punchline of the joke. I didn't realize you were going to get there that
I didn't know there
fast.
was a whole pitch involved, but it was just, Benjamin Franklin
You settled
celebrated,
in,
but
but
also
the thing that you
slave master.
did is you settled into the role and you came in with a bit of a potbelly. I saw you sort of walking with your lower half like a founding father with a powdered wig, and I just
That's how you have to do it,
I think
Dana.
you went to slave owner way too quickly. I think that should have been on the back end of
Are
whatever
you tired of having many mistresses in the dark? But boy, do I have something for you.
The reason, I don't know where we started this because they like to very often here just be rolling when we're having private conversations and turn it into content. It's the illusion of intimacy. That you can always overhear us. The place this started, and I don't think this was on, is that Whittingham had a chance. We all had a chance to skydive today. Red Bull apparently has the same planning committee we do, which they tell you things 7 minutes in advance, and there's no planning involved.
That's not happening for me.
On a Sunday night, we get a message on Slack. Tomorrow morning, 10:30, jump
10:30,
out of a plane.
That's the way
Like,
plane
what?
jumping has to do
Just
it.
the way
That's
you
the
want to
way
start
you
your
do it.
week.
I agree.
Yeah.
If you're
Great.
gonna
Right.
jump out of a plane, last minute.
And we told Whittingham, because
Last resorts.
he can go in 90 minutes, and he was complaining about not having the camera equipment to jump with a zoom from the sky as he's doing this. And Chris Cody said that we should invent some sort of Hawks-like glove for these sort of occasions so that you can put a phone in your hand and you can skydive for the first time and also be a videographer of great expertise. I thought you could do it with a GoPro.
I have an idea. You get a magnet embedded into your palm and on the back of your phone, so your phone is stuck to your hand at all times. I would.
It's gonna have to deal with some wind, though.
Right? Yeah. That's gonna be some incredible adhesive. That's gonna be some incredible adhesive.
I like it.
We're diving.
No, get the magnets
Downwards.
that the burglars use to crawl up the sides of
Oh,
buildings.
those are cool.
Then you
yes.
push one button and
Suction
then it's
cups.
yeah,
Right. Yes.
and then you're on and, and then you're off.
Yes.
But you have to time it just
You
right
climb
and you slide
anything.
down.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
love that they made Whittingham on his first ever endeavor through the sky, Ethan Hunt.
You have to be, Dan.
It's not a hard enough mission. You're terrified jumping for the first time, but also
It's Mission Impossible.
Suction cup hands that keep a phone there, so of course we can get the content as you spiral towards your
Of
death.
me in vertical mode, trying to get 5G in the
That's why I gotta go
sky
horizontal.
on shitty Zoom connection.
You should do it on a laptop.
Your camera's
honestly.
off.
Yeah, no, you do it on the laptop.
You're
like
on mute.
masking tape your hands to the laptop.
You would jump in a suit, right? Are you would? Yes.
What happened though? We had a chance because
We
of
all have jobs. Yeah.
Turn on original audio.
I imagine if you work at Red Bull, anytime you get a Slack, it might say something like, "Hey, we're skydiving at 10:30 tomorrow." Like,
I'm
that's
actually
just
sending
a
this
normal
email.
Sunday
They're
night.
sending that email from skydiving. That's how I
I
imagine
love
it.
that Billy spit at me. We've got jobs, as if it's normal for someone else on a Monday to get that in the Slack. Does anybody want to go skydiving? Everyone declined.
For Red Bull it is, Dan. For Red Bull it is. I'm telling you.
I feel
they
like
wake up.
being-
Their morning alarm is a helicopter doing stunts in the sky.
I feel like Red Bull Slack has more adrenaline in it than anything I've ever done in my entire life. Just being in the Slack.
Well, what was this helicopter stunt thing that we were also invited
That
to
was
be a
something
part
else,
of? Because this is F1's in town and there's all sorts of insanity in town. This is the Super Bowl, Stugotz. You may not like it, but the Super Bowl is in town and these are really hard tickets. And it's
Oh, I don't mind it. I think the event's going to be fantastic. I mind the tweets on Sunday morning when I'm trying to watch Jane Pauley. That's all.
Well, this Sunday, it's Sunday afternoon because the race,
Good.
it's lights
Time
out at
zones.
3 p.m.
I don't like it.
Why don't you like it?
I don't like it. I don't think that they should Americanize the whole thing. You know what I mean? Have
Well,
it at the same time for everybody.
late for that. Billy.
There's a lot of F1 fans that agree with you. Let me tell you right
that's
now.
what I'm
Now there's
saying.
going to be 3
Why, they're bothered
races
by
in the
it?
United States.
Yeah.
They're not bothered by it, but like there's a lot of places where F1 races that are like old cities that people think have a lot of like character and flavor, and they're like, Miami, Vegas, Austin, like so many races in the United States. It's like, well, don't knock it till you try it. We'll see how it goes this weekend.
well, it'll be a cluster bleep. I mean, Miami can't.
What Miami is.
Miami can't handle all of this.
Yeah, there's
Real
some
experience.
there's some controversy right now because there's supposed to be an area, a marina with yachts.
Yeah.
And they haven't been able to put the yachts in water yet because it might be a hazard for the track.
But also, water didn't exist there before.
I know
They just
they're
made
trying
that up.
to make a marina and then put yachts in there, and they sold a lot of tickets for a lot of money there, and we don't know if we can execute this idea quite yet. And it's Monday and the race is on Sunday.
Yeah, they have like 3 days to figure it out. So
Well, this is welcome to Miami.
Hey,
Welcome.
I'm getting out of town this weekend.
This
I
is
mean,
not. You don't live here.
What do you mean?
That's a good shout.
You don't
race
live
isn't in Boca.
these,
Well,
what's gonna happen?
these cars don't have enough gas to get to where you live.
I didn't know. I had no
As if
idea.
this will
I think they
affect
race
you.
all
if
around.
the race
you
was
know?
get to Stugotz's house in a Formula One car, I'm not sure they could get there.
Was the marina absolutely necessary on the pitch? Like,
No,
if they
it's
wouldn't have
absurd.
put in a
Do you
marina, they
not-
needed
wait
to
a minute,
do this.
Billy, we need to explain to people how landlocked this area is. There are only dirty brown canals in this area.
no way.
there's no access to a marina in this area.
Imagine how much they're making off those tickets if they were willing to build a marina to sell the tickets. That's
I saw
wild.
them pouring fake water into something this weekend. Was that an illusion? Was that a graphic? What was that?
No,
What is fake water?
It's not
Like, how
fake
do you-
water. It's actual water into a fake pool.
I know. Forgive me.
Right.
Thank you.
It's a complete artifice.
So then
would
what
fake water be?
they dump what? Like boats into this water?
The
and
boats
then,
are already there. The boats are
without
like,
the fake water?
Yeah, they like parked a bunch
Weird.
of boats like on the like asphalt, and so it's supposed to be like it's
You put
supposed
the
to be
boats
like
in
a,
first?
I don't
think
like
so.
it.
Yeah, I think it's
The
supposed to be
boats
like a
going
water
first.
feature, like a big like
Billy, they want it.
fountain
I'm
pond
guessing.
type thing.
I'm
to make
guessing
it look like a marina.
with no information other than knowing this area and knowing how they've
I
befouled
don't
it
like this.
by desecrating and ignoring every permit and just taking the fines. They are going into a neighborhood, dropping the Super Bowl into a neighborhood, and they require garages that are going to screw with the local sewage and the development of a marina just because the money's coming into town, where there is no sane place to put a marina.
No, they could have done this at Tamiami Park very easily because there actually used to be races there. I think races with these cars, like the track's there. Why didn't they just do it there?
I believe the original idea was to race through downtown.
They used to.
and onto the
that's
port.
crazy.
But could you imagine
used to do that.
completely? No, but I'm saying like for Formula One. I mean, they used to have races down there, but not Formula One.
It was
Yeah, it was like those cars.
it was
It might have been a
exotic
different
car
type
racing.
of single-seater car, but yeah, Formula One cars are.
I think it was
Dan,
Formula
they're-
One,
they're the cream of
actually.
the
No, it
crop.
wasn't Formula
One.
The thing with the marina is that they pitched a Miami race. The best place for it was where Stephen Ross could put it, and the Dolphins and the Hard Rock are behind, like they're sponsoring partners of the race. And then they realized, like, if this is going to be in Miami, we need to make it feel like Miami. So we need to put something here that connotes ocean, yachts, what the rest of like Miami's waterfront is like.
But they're not
Even though
anywhere
that's-
near those places.
Right.
They,
But if you're someone who lives in like Monaco and you're coming to Miami, you probably don't know what Miami Gardens looks like. You're not really gonna know the intricacies of
And I
Miami
can also-
geography. So they just want it to look, for people who just like parachute into Miami for the weekend, they just want it to look like Miami at the track.
And I can also guarantee that the scenics, when they go away from the racetrack, and it's like, hey, here's what Miami looks like. Guarantee you they start with Ocean Drive. There is not going to be video
always
of the
do.
Walmart across the street.
Why would you show Miami Gardens? I mean, seriously.
World, here is the Sonic.
it's funny that it's such a made-for-television event that here is the gas station on the other side of the street near the Walmart. That this is
Here is the Stadium Hotel.
The racetrack.
El Palacio.
And they've rebranded, Dan. They've rebranded. They're
It's
no
nice
longer
now.
the
Yeah.
El Palacio Sports Hotel. It's just the Stadium Hotel now.
I used to call it El Palacio Sports and Crack Den.
I'm sure they loved that.
They did not, and it was not. But that hotel has been there forever, and it overlooks the racetrack, and it's one of the saddest places on earth.
I feel like that wasn't like a thriving place in the 80s.
It had to be.
Looks like a place that thrived in the 80s.
When
It's been sad
opened,
forever.
When Joe Robbie Stadium first opened,
Right.
I feel bad for people that like want to go to a Dolphins game or Hurricanes game. They look at the Google reviews, because like the Google reviews for that hotel probably say like 3.8 stars or something like that. It's like it's not glamorous, but it's fine. And then you get there, and it's the Stadium Hotel.
No, that place has to be nice enough. I think
can't
it's
be.
fine. Yeah,
It
why
can't be.
not?
I wouldn't even
I'm
walk
telling
in
you,
there.
guys, I am telling you, they just renovated the entire
Yeah.
place.
Heard of death-
it
heard of
looks
death
nice.
punishment.
I believe that it's a nice
there.
hotel. I believe that it's a nice hotel. There's a field goal
Okay.
post out front, or there used to be, and then they put inside by the canals next to the street. They put like mechanisms that turned it into fountains. Do you guys remember when that was
I
going
do
on?
remember
Is that
the
still a thing?
fountains, yeah.
yeah, and that was canal water. That
I
has
don't
to be nice
remember.
enough.
I don't think that hotel is so old that I would have seen it in my childhood. I don't think that was there when I was growing up near there. I think that the hotel has to be like 35 or 40 years old.
The place looks amazing. The Stadium Hotel, they renovated everything. They have a
Yep.
mini golf course. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
And by the way,
incredible.
for everyone here disparaging canals, because I've heard a lot of this lately, have you guys ever heard of Venice?
Touche.
Thank you, Billy. Great contribution from you.
good
We
point.
have heard
Just saying.
of Venice, and
Just saying.
not a lot of gondolas in these dirty brown water canals.
There
that
will
are-
be this weekend.
Segueing back to the helicopter stunt, what happened was that
was crazy.
Red Bull a while ago, Dan, suggested a few of these things to us because they are obviously in town for the Grand Prix, and they are going to have a big presence this week, and we have a relationship with them from the Riley Opelka thing that we did with Stugotz, who he's a Red Bull athlete. And so they mentioned, skydiving, helicopter stunt, and I was like, absolutely not. I will not do either of these things. And then assumed kind of probably errantly that no one else would be interested in this group. Like I can't really picture Billy skydiving. And then it was mentioned in front of Chris at our DraftKings sales lunch, and Chris Whittingham, shockingly, very interested in skydiving and was like, "I'll do it." But then push comes to shove, literally out of a plane, and he doesn't want to go.
Well, he did want to go. He didn't want to
During
miss
the show.
He didn't want. It was in an hour from now, and he can't do it an hour from now. But when is helicopter stunts?
So helicopter stunts, we got a message that there is a BO15 shopper that does flips. That's on a Thursday. If anyone wants to do that, please let me know. I've been told that the helicopter that does flips is, quote, safe.
Anytime safe is in quotes, not for me, Clyde.
Does anybody?
If you have to tell me, right?
Does anybody want to do helicopter flips? Do we have anyone
got it.
here?
No,
You can do it, Dan.
thanks.
You know what's on
I'm
top
good.
of a helicopter, right? Death blades. And when you turn upside down, the death blades are underneath you. And then when you're going vertical, the death blades kind of swing. It's very easy. Those death blades could chop off the back of that helicopter in disaster. No, thank you.
I don't know if that's how that works, Billy, but I will
is.
say that
It is.
the Red Bull people told us if there's anyone you're going to do this stuff with, like they are the pros. Like Red Bull does this kind of stuff for a living.
They
It's
would
not-
say that.
It's not skydiving, 1-800 skydiving like Hildy did in Homestead. This is Red
Whoa,
Bull.
what is that supposed to mean?
Like these are people who have
Unnecessary
done this for
shot.
their living.
I mean,
Shout
come
out to
on.
1-800 skydiving.
It's
You're
Red
welcome.
Bull. It's an energy drink. This isn't like a science company. You know what I mean? Like it's an energy drink
Yeah,
that
but-
you mix with
No,
vodka.
but
Really,
but
this is the
they're
whole
staking their
livelihood.
reputation though. They're staking their reputation. Like if there was a headline, Red Bull kills Dan Le Batard Show member, that would probably be bad for business. I would
think
imagine.
they could survive it.
I'll look it up. I'm on it.
This is probably as safely as one could do helicopter flips.
Yes.
I have had a chance to skydive with Blue Angels. I had to get a medical clearance. My doctor said I have an irregular heartbeat. Don't do that.
Really?
Yes, I wanted to conquer the fear.
You were happy when you got that, though, right?
I was relieved. I'm like, I'm not going to lie about that. It's not something I wanted
Medical
to do.
reason.
I was only
Sorry,
doing
guys.
it
Well,
how's
because
the
I was
ticker now?
afraid.
Are you okay?
It's
Are you
still
okay?
lovingly
But in the
still-
moment, you were
still
relieved, right?
irregular, still irregular.
You'd rather have an irregular heartbeat than have to face your fear of skydiving.
But I believe the audience is listening to this. Put it on the poll, Guillermo, at LeBatard Show. Would the audience vote as a majority to try and do helicopter flips if Red Bull offered? Because I think they're looking at this offer here that we're declining, and there are a lot of people listening and being like, you cowards, you get one chance in a lifetime.
Well, they'd
to
vote
do
for us to do it. Would they vote for themselves to do it?
I don't know
Right.
whether they'd be afraid of it or not. It's not something I would ever care to do.
If not jumping out of a plane makes me a coward, I am a coward.
I would
gotta-
jump out of a plane. I'm just not getting on a helicopter that's doing flips.
Yeah, no.
Exactly.
That's that's
And I would jump
that's
out
a
of a
bridge
plane.
too far.
Yeah.
I would jump out of a plane.
Which one do you think
No.
is safer when done by Red Bull? Skydiving or helicopter flips?
I'm guessing skydiving because it is a hobby that people regularly do. Like Lewis Hamilton goes skydiving and will do like 40 jumps in a day.
What?
Yeah,
Right.
he's an
That is
experienced
not true.
skydiver.
But all it takes is one
Google it.
time where the chute doesn't open. I mean, that's
Yeah.
it.
But
you
that's,
know?
I think that's kind of rare. That's the reason why it's
Well,
safe,
when you do
because it
40
doesn't
jumps a
happen.
day, you're increasing the odds.
But
Right.
the skydive for me is the
40 jumps a
conquering
day.
your fear, because not that many people. It's a math problem for me. Where like getting in my car is more dangerous than skydiving.
40 jumps a day seems mathematically impossible.
Okay, maybe it's 25. Look it up, Billy. It
Even
might be
so, though-
it might be hyperbole.
But
Just-
taking
it's a
off
lot.
and then landing and the process of jumping out, I would imagine takes at least an hour. So at most 24 if you're doing them straight, right?
You drop in this safer than getting my car thing a lot. I want a list of everything that's safer
Yeah.
than getting in my car.
Oh, but those stats, I mean.
Trust me, Whittingham knows. Okay.
Top 10 things safer than getting in a car?
I want to get to something that happened with Mina Kimes this weekend because she was talking about deep balls and said it was literally not one of her top 10 inadvertently sexual terms from football. And I did want to assemble a top 10 of inadvertently sexual terms from football. But I don't believe this has happened before in us doing this show. We talked so much about the Panthers and the Heat and even the Marlins that we totally ignored the NFL draft. I don't know about you, but I was made very sad for the broadcasters on day 3 of the NFL draft, as I always am, just sad for the broadcasters. But
Right.
one of the many things I enjoyed from the weekend is Kyle Brandt killed it. just owned it as a professional wrestler, going out there on behalf of the Buffalo Bills and getting Bills Mafia fired up while biting a chicken wing. I mean, he just crushed the moment. Could not have risen to meet the adrenaline moment better than he did. Did you see this at all?
I did not. No, the Jets crushed the moment as well. I mean, they really did. I don't like so many people are heaping praise on the Jets organization that it's making me a bit uncomfortable. But I did not see this moment, so I apologize. I'm looking at the Stadium Hotel right now. Nice junior suite. I mean, I am telling you, they're all non-smoking rooms. But Dan, do you agree those rooms will smell like smoke forever?
Yes.
Thank you.
It's permanently in the drywall. Smoke smell. On the subject of picks, did you see the guy for the Minnesota Vikings that took so long that he got rushed?
Can we? I knew Billy would love this guy. Let's talk about this for a second, Stugotz. Do you remember Ed Marinaro?
Hill Street Blues, yep.
Okay, because Ed Marinaro got up there for the Minnesota Vikings, and he really thought that it was the Ed Marinaro show. Now, I don't remember what Ed Marinaro was in, but I do remember that he was a USC star. Now he's 72 years old, and he went out there thinking that people knew who he was.
Yep.
And everyone was there, thousands of people to see Ed Marinaro, and he really misread the room because nobody knew who he was. And then someone who looked just like Jessica came in and ended old man yammering by saying, "Get off the stage. This isn't about you. We need to get to the draft pick."
It was shocking because someone tweeted that photo at me and I was like, am I at the draft? I had one of those moments where I looked around the room and felt like that is my twin somewhere out
I thought
there.
someone photoshopped you there.
No,
I thought it was
me.
actually someone else and someone but it just looked
It
just
looked like
that
the
was
profile
wild.
Exactly like
of
me.
it looked like Jessica, the producer, had a side gig on the weekend in Vegas, and it was to tell Ed Marinaro to shut up.
People tweet things at me all the time that are other blonde women that look nothing like me, and they're like, Smitty, I saw you at blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, that literally does not look like me. This time, it was me.
Chris Cody, do you have for us, because I don't remember Hill Street Blues, I remember the name of the show, but he is viewed as a D-list actor, but he had played in big things that I sort of vaguely remember the name, football star turned actor, but I don't feel like he's done anything in the last 30 years that anyone remembers, and I just love the lack of self-awareness in people were so excited for the draft, so excited, football was in Vegas. People, it looked like there was high energy, even as I told you, I felt sad for the broadcasters. But Ed Marinaro goes in the pantheon of people who misread a room because he really did think those people were enjoying his talk, and Billy was the only one. And only because of the awkwardness of this guy has no self-awareness that he's yammering.
But what are we going to do? We're rushing back to get 10 minutes of coverage on what person was drafted in the third round. Like, who cares? I'll listen to this man tell his stories. You didn't find them interesting? He basically told us that he was drafted by a team he didn't want to be drafted by. It was the second worst team he could have been drafted by, which was incredible.
Yeah.
You guys didn't like that? Why didn't you like that?
Billy, I know why you liked it, because he was an anarchist who had to be pulled off the stage in what was universally seen as the weekend's most awkward moment.
How about some respect?
Exactly.
I mean, the guy had a
Thank
great
you.
6-year run on Hill Street Blues, one of the great shows of all time.
So disrespectful to that man. Probably the most accomplished person in that room that day. It was the third round or whatever day it was. You know what I mean? There's no one there that's going to do anything.
Billy, people want. I saw Keegan Michael Key was announcing one of the second round picks. I have to salute football. I have to. You've made 3 days into something that Kyle Brandt wants to run out there and be maximum football guy for you. And Ed Marinaro is too old to be maximum football guy for you. All they want is keep throwing through everyone out there who's dressed in a different Fitzpatrick jersey. Just keep pouring energy through them with football, picks, and football. And God bless football, Stugotz. They've got 3 days they've turned it into an event, and I legitimately feel sad for the broadcasters on the third day.
I mean, it's on those, like, the Todd McShays of the world to tell us what's going on, because none of us know who any of those guys are. I did enjoy that.
But they do, like McShay does. Those guys know.
But the ESPN and NFL Network trucks both flexed the amount of video that they had on the NFL draft. Like, we have 520 video packages ready to show you of maybe NFL draft picks. Like, that's the stage that we got to towards the end of Saturday. I will say, though, I did find interesting that, like, in these moments, and also Mel Kiper really had a go at a couple of first-round picks where I don't think these guys realize they're ruining the life achievements for these guys. Like Ed, whatever his name is ruining the moment for Andrew Booth, who is the corner from Clemson. I'm watching video of this watch party. There's like 50 people inside of this party that are all celebrating at the end of this guy yammering for 2 minutes and 20 seconds. And it's like, you're ruining this dude's moment. Like, Andrew Booth is never going to have another chance, and all anyone's going to remember is the guy who came on stage beforehand and had to be reminded to get on with the show.
So they should like all the draft picks now?
No, but that's a tough tightrope to be like, this team completely messed up here by taking this guy.
No.
This is your career highlight, and Mel Kiper is going to shit all over it. Like, I've heard like draft analysts talk about how difficult that is to like kind of critique a moment while also giving the kid a chance to be successful in whatever league you're being drafted into.
But we don't know the kids. I rely on Mel. I rely on Todd McShay. I rely on those guys to tell me whether or not that was a good pick. I mean, I do. I want them to be honest in that spot. I know it hurts the kid, but get over it. You made it to the NFL.
But do they really even know?
No.
I mean, Andrew Booth could be totally fine on the Vikings, and
they know more than I do.
Is it
That's what I know.
ruining his moment, like Whitty
What
said?
kind of what is that? They know more than I do.
Well, he's right.
I mean, they're more informed than I am.
They are more informed. As Louis Riddick says, the Colts won the draft and the offseason. As everyone applauds the Jets, and I'm suspicious anytime that happens.
So am I.
As everyone applauds the Jets draft, but we do recognize that some of this stuff is wildly unscientific. Can we just, before we get into the minutiae and the details of what happened this weekend, can we just step back for a second and watch what is happening with the league and its partners as football keeps getting stronger and flexing, and Apple TV and Amazon and everyone competes for us, and we're going to have Herb Street over here and we're going to have McAfee over there, and everyone is going to be streaming football. They have turned it into a 3-day made-for-television infomercial with their brand partners to celebrate their minor leagues with video packages that celebrate their free minor leagues. We've got so much video of this other system that is our business, and what a model that is, college basketball and college football for ESPN and the others. Our minor leagues, we get advantages from making you know who all these people are in a way that you don't know baseball minor leaguers or G leaguers, because we have this buzz around them, this made-for-television spectacle for 3 days. I want to dive in on some of the things that teams did, but this is the first time I can remember that a Dolphin draft, a one of hope and a season of hope, gets drowned locally by, oh, look, the teams are good here locally, and maybe we can celebrate picks, something other than draft.
Right, but they didn't have picks. That was, they traded one
and it was a shitty draft, though. And it was a really uninteresting draft.
Their draft was Tariq Hill, that trade.
No, but it doesn't matter. There were transactions. Look, Lamar Jackson got mad about, or seemed to get mad about, Hollywood Brown being traded. I want to dissect whether the Browns got in early before the market corrected, getting Amari Cooper for a 5th-round pick, when everyone else is now saying we need wide receivers and their first-round values, and the entire payment structure has changed in football. But before we do that, I just want you to notice what football and their league partners have done to this thing, because this wasn't a good draft. This was a shitty draft. And they turned it into a 3-day spectacle that flexes and has celebrity around, because football is king, and football will take whatever football gives us, even in a diluted form, as long as it's there in April and May to get us over to September.
There is no such thing as a shitty draft. How dare you say that? This was the greatest first round in the history of the NFL draft. You had A.J. Brown being traded. You had Hollywood Brown bailing on one of his best friends. You had moves being made by just about every team. It was fantastic. It was a very exciting first round. It was. It was great.
The best ever.
In terms of teams making moves, wheeling and dealing, moving up and down.
Let's do the accounting of this.
There were like 9 trades in the first round.
Let's do the accounting of this. Who are the guys that got moved? Hollywood Brown and A.J. Brown.
Right.
Keep going.
Hey, teams moved up, teams moved back, teams did things.
Moved up to get defensive linemen.
I mean, the Jets moved up, and they got themselves a 3rd first-round pick and got maybe the 3rd best edge rusher in the draft. Right.
Okay, so I think we're understanding this, because I think
Smetty got a quarterback.
I think the show could have been accused of when the Browns had high draft picks, there was a lot of draft excitement, and then when they don't, there's not a lot of excitement, right? Or when our teams are involved, like I did not. I might have watched 5 minutes of this draft from start to finish. I had
You never pick.
I know, but that's what I'm saying, right? It's a very heliocentric view where it's like if my thing is involved, then that's cool. If it's not, but like your team who's prominently involved in this draft is getting praise, and so you were all in on it, whereas me, I'm not into it at all because my team wasn't involved. I think it's like you're viewing it through the prism of your team trading up and getting. Did you end up with 3 first-round draft picks?
Yeah, we had 3, but I'm looking at the entirety of the first round where you had the Texans surprisingly taking Stingley. Like, there were a lot of surprises.
I don't know who that is.
He's a cornerback from LSU.
I don't know any. I know Sauce.
Right.
Sauce is the only thing that
he's got a great name.
And Kenny Pickett, small hands, and that
Watch your mouth.
Malik Willis.
Those are my small
going all the
hands.
way into the 3rd round.
Yeah.
That no team wanted to buy the lottery ticket of a quarterback.
The only quarterback that we knew in this draft that was supposed to be the first round pick ends up slipping. Stugotz, I don't know whether you noticed. I think many people saw this when the champion Rams were talking at a press conference, and Cole Strange out of UT Chattanooga got taken by the Patriots in the first round. The Rams had him. They wanted to get him at 104, and he was taken in the first round. And
such a Belichick thing to do.
It was, but I thought the Rams. Did you see the brain trust of the Rams and their
McVay
reaction?
And Les Snead, yes.
They had so many beers.
Yep. The Super Bowl looks good on them. It does.
The Rams are having so much fun. Like, those guys came out of a frat house just loaded up on beers, and they're like, ha ha, look at that. Cole Strange, we had him at 104. They took him at 29. We'll just get another Von Miller. We'll just trade for somebody and bleep the picks. But those guys are having, like, they were clearly hammered, were they not?
They were doing a press conference, so maybe relaxed, but I don't know if they were hammered.
Where's your journalistic credibility?
I don't know if they were hammered. They seemed to me aggressively hammered. But there are things, Stugotz, that I wanted to talk about with the transactions, because I don't think you found it a very interesting draft, but you are someone
thanks for telling me what I thought.
But you said you didn't know what happened with Kyle Brandt. You're just watching, it was the Jets.
Listen, for me,
you called it the best draft. You called it the best draft ever with no quarterbacks in it.
For me, it is all about Mel Kiper. Okay, it is draft day. It is draft weekend. With all due respect, so what? He was on my screen. With all due respect to Kyle Brandt, I am going to watch Mel. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. It is Mel's day. It is Mel's
Kyle
week.
Brandt was not on NFL Network. He was on all the networks announcing the Bills' pick. But the transactions that I wanted to talk to you about, as the wide receivers end up changing the landscape, Travis Kelce told his brother Jason Kelce that A.J. Brown is the biggest cheat code in the NFL. Do you agree with that? Because I had not thought of him that way. He's a very good receiver, and I think he's one of the better receivers, and he seems to be made out of the same bowling ball material that Tyreek Hill is made out of, and I would want him on my team, and he can do a lot of different things. But do you think of him as the biggest cheat code in the NFL?
No, I think of him as, a very good wide receiver, but not a great wide receiver.
Well, you explain to me what happened here where A.J. Brown goes for an 18 overall and a third, and Hollywood Brown goes for 23rd overall in the first round. When Hollywood Brown is very fast, but Hollywood Brown is also, he drops the ball a ton, and, Bart Scott will say things like Hollywood Brown is not a number 1 receiver because of how much he drops the ball.
I don't think he is. I mean, he was tied for 6th in the NFL last year in drop passes. I thought the interesting thing there was Lamar Jackson's reaction to it, because he had no idea, and that's his best friend.
It was WTF is how he was on Twitter. He was complaining about it, and I do think the Cardinals it's interesting how this one plays out, right? Because the Ravens just got their quarterback mad, and the Cardinals just overpaid in order to make their quarterback happy. Like they overpaid in a tough market where it's like, okay, let's get a deep threat for Kyler Murray, because AJ Green used to be this cheat code, but he's not the cheat code anymore. DeAndre Hopkins was kind of a cheat code, but was injured last year. And so they're like, let's go get, and untrustworthy receiver who can run down the field.
I find really interesting that the organizations that are traditionally, quote, well run don't tend to value wide receivers and placating their quarterbacks as much. Like if you just think of the end of the Brady era, they weren't that interested in surrounding Brady with receiving talent. They were interested in building the rest of their roster and hoping that the quarterback can turn their receivers into something good.
But Brady proved them wrong.
Right, exactly.
Right.
But Baltimore is very clearly saying we're not getting in on the paying receivers $20 to $30 million a year, when that for me is the story of this offseason, is that there is a new money position. Stugotz and Mike Golick, I thought, articulated this very well on God Bless Football, which is it's been quarterback and left tackle and pass rusher, but receiver, as the money grows in the salary cap, is now becoming one of those positions that get paid a ton of money, and it seems to have all happened in the last 12 months, maybe even sooner than that. So the Ravens are not getting in on it, and the Cardinals are going all in on team speed.
This is why I think the macro view on some of this is interesting, because as the numbers and the analytics come to these sports, Stugotz, and you see baseball's unrecognizable from 5 years ago, basketball unrecognizable from 5 years ago, also unrecognizable because it's like, oh, we've been doing shitty measurements on where we assign value. This isn't where we should assign value. Now it changes in football, and that's one part of it that's interesting. But here's the other part, because you're always hearing copycat league, copycat league, copycat league. Brady taught them that. Brady changed teams, and everybody's like, oh, wait, no, it's not organization. It's like he's got these tons of receivers, and they will help a quarterback age. I better go please Kyler Murray. I better go please. Like, Brady taught all of them, you've been doing this all wrong. Mm-hmm. Go get guys who cannot be covered, because if Mike Evans is my third option, and I've also got Godwin and Antonio Brown, I can play till I'm 50, because I've figured out something the rest of the sport has not about value.
Woody, I do wonder how long Lamar Jackson, who's a former MVP, by the way, is going to be okay with not having wide receivers, with the Ravens not addressing that position for him. Because it's a sign that you care about him and you want him to be Max great.
Aaron Rodgers too. Aaron Rodgers
too,
because all of the receivers went high in the draft. To me, this is some interesting organizational stuff, Stugotz, because the Ravens are seen as a very well-run organization. But here's the change coming to the sport, all over the sport. Changed by Christian Kirk. He leaves Arizona. Kyler Murray's on Instagram. New kind of athlete, new kind of quarterback. Going to tell you he's unhappy. Kingsbury's job is at stake. Go get me someone, even if you have to overpay. Just go get me someone fast. They took him from the organization who's saying, that guy's not that valuable. You can have him.
Right, and it's that organizational philosophy stuff of, and I think the, quote, well-run teams aren't buying in, and we'll see if they get left behind, because it seems like the recent Super Bowl champions not only have a good offense, but then they double down on it. Like the Rams mid-season just going and getting Odell Beckham because he's available. Just go keep getting me guys to surround my quarterback. And yeah, my defense might suffer a little bit, but as long as it's okay, I'll have enough. Teams are doubling down on their star quarterbacks rather than saying, well, my quarterbacks can turn my offense into a decent offense.
I thought the other interesting one was the Eagles are giving Jalen Hurts every chance to succeed. You have Goddard at tight end. Devonta Smith becomes your second, your number two.
But it's Stugotz.
And you get A.J. Brown. Plus, you have 2 first-round picks next year. So if Hurts is not good, you can take a quarterback then.
It's the same thing that the Dolphins are doing with Tua. You have 1 year to prove it, and if not, we've got the offense skeletally built around. We can go bring someone else in because we're going to do the next form of this game. But let's get to, because I wanted to get to this earlier, you mentioned Odell Beckham, and Odell Beckham did tweet out that Deebo Samuel was going to the Patriots, breaking news. And I think he's wise to try and get into the insider game because Schefter makes more than he does now. And I don't know if it's true or not, but because Odell Beckham was saying it, I fell for it. Like, I fell for the idea, does Odell Beckham know something? Deebo Samuel to the Patriots, as all of this shifts organizationally, Stugotz, because Belichick has failed at receiver. He failed Brady at receiver. And now Belichick has to catch up with an inferior quarterback. You can think Mac Jones is whatever you think he is, but
he ain't Brady.
Belichick. Oh, thank you, Stugotz.
I was helping you out. I was supporting your points.
But
Belichick failing Brady after 6 Super Bowls is also kind of ridiculous.
At receiver.
They
had Randy Moss.
Yeah, they had Gronk. They had 1,000 tight ends that became their receivers.
Hernandez.
Yeah.
At the end, Brady would tell you he left because I'm guessing he thought he could do it elsewhere better with those positions. But let's get to the top 10 inadvertently sexual terms in football that Mina Kimes says deep balls is OLI, outside looking in.
Well, I have my top 5, and then I think Cody has his top 5. So combined, we have our 10. So
That is 10. All right.
I'll do 5. I'll do 10 through 5. And
Nope. I'm going to go back and forth between you. Let's go,
I don't
Chris.
know if you want to do that, but
You don't know if I want to do that?
Are any
I don't know,
repeated?
Chris.
Did you?
I feel
coordinate?
really good about my list.
That gives me pause if Chris feels good about it, but we could do it.
Well, what is your lack of confidence here? Are you afraid that Chris's list is better than your list, or you want?
I think it's different than my list.
Can we just go back and forth here?
Okay,
I mean,
you don't want. How do
We
you
can go
want to
back
do
and
this,
forth. Yeah, let's do it.
Jessica?
Let's go back and forth. I'll go
I want
first.
your 5, Chris's
No,
5.
that's
your
how I
4,
wanted it, but
Chris's 4.
Jessica's saying
Let's
that's
do
not
it.
the
No,
way
game
to
of
do
tennis,
it.
you know?
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Jessica, number 10.
Hole.
Chris Cody, number 9.
Ball carrier.
Jessica, number 8.
Getting penetration.
Chris Cody, number 7.
Foreplay action.
What? What?
Use it in a sentence.
Foreplay action.
Yeah.
Play action's a thing in football.
Yeah, he's right.
Foreplay's a thing in sex.
He's right. Yeah. No, he's right. Number 3?
But he's not.
We're on 6. Foreplay action is not a football
How
term.
is that? What are you doing?
What was Jess's number 3?
It's play
We're
action.
not there yet, Billy. We're going to number 6. What is foreplay action?
No,
What-
yeah. You guys don't get it.
yeah, we
We're not
It's
doing
next level,
puns.
I guess.
we're not doing.
We're not doing puns. We're just saying that a,
was
a
your
term
idea,
you
Dan.
This is
use in
Chris's
football.
list, by
He
the
felt
way. I
really
just
good
wanna
about
say,
it, he said, yeah.
This is Chris's list. I'd just like to remind everyone.
Jessica, did you just spit? This was your idea, Dan. To what? Go and trust Chris on anything?
It
What
was your
my-
idea.
Number 6, Jessica.
Deep balls.
But Mina says it's not in the top 10.
Well, that's Mina's
I
list.
disagree.
Yeah.
That's Mina's
Number
list.
5.
I do have 3 in my OLI.
This is similar. That one's similar to mine. Mine is holding my balls.
Give me your OLI, Jessica. I don't think I want to go to any more of Chris Cody by Sheets and Giggles. Brought to you by Sheets and Giggles. I don't want to do his list anymore.
Naked bootleg.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Naked.
Double teamed.
Oh, double team.
Getting stripped.
They're definitely doing different types of lists.
My turn?
What's your 3?
Yeah.
Roughing the asser.
Ah.
Tight end.
Rim jobs.
Chris's list
What do
is
you
better.
mean?
I mean,
What do you mean? That's not a.
Cleveland steamer.
Number 1 is muff.
oh. What's Chris's number 1?
Eiffel Tower.
There's the games in London.
Roughing the
Or
asset.
Paris, I guess.